the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
63rd IB and local board educate 44 former rebels on amnesty program. AFP and GMA Kapuso Foundation forge partnership to aid remote communities. LTO launches online driver's license renewal system. Burnt human remains found as search begins in Taal Lake.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Friday, July 11, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay here to bring you today's story.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the 63rd Infantry Innovator Battalion, in partnership with the local Amnesty Board, conducted an amnesty orientation for 44 former rebels at the 78th Infantry Battalion headquarters in Borongan City. The session explained the benefits and process of applying for amnesty. The initiative aims to support former rebels' peaceful reintegration. It also strengthens the community peace-building efforts in conflict-affected areas.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines and GMA Kapuso Foundation Incorporated signed a memorandum of agreement at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City yesterday. It intends to launch joint humanitarian and communication projects in remote and underserved areas. AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. and GMA Kapuso Foundation's Mr. Jose Vener Ibarra led the signing. The partnership aims to improve the access to vital services and information in geographically isolated and depressed areas and to reinforce the both institutions' commitment to inclusive development and nation building.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Beth Tañete about 94th IB joins ugnayan sa barangay to boost peace and development in Negros.
The 94th Infantry Battalion participated in the Ugnayan sa Barangay under the Retold Community Support Program or RCSP in Barangay Canagbaan, La Castellana, Negros Occidental. The event strengthened collaboration among government agencies, local leaders and residents and addressing community issues and promoting lasting peace. The 94th IB reaffirmed its commitment and supporting grassroots effort that drive inclusive progress and nation building. This is Bethanieta reporting for the EFP Community News, one EFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Beth Tañete.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 53rd Infantry Battalion conducted an ocular inspection in Barangay Pisompongan, Midsalip, Zamboanga del Sur yesterday. This was after a viral video showed school children crossing a river to attend classes. The team met with local officials to discuss urgent interventions and long-term infrastructure plans. 53rd IB stressed the Army's commitment in ensuring the children's safety and supporting the accessible education through strong collaboration with government agencies and the community.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 78th Infantry Battalion joined forces with Volunteer for the Visayas Incorporated to distribute the school supplies to over 60 students at Bonifacio Elementary School in Barangay Bonifacio, Gamay, Northern Samar. The initiative aimed to ease the burden on parents and promote early childhood education. Soldiers handed out notebooks, pencils, crayons, and other materials, receiving heartfelt thanks from teachers and parents. The 78th IB reaffirmed its commitment in supporting the educational programs and fostering a brighter future for the youth.
Armed Forces Radio.
And more updates from Richmond about BRP Bacolod City welcomes newskeeper.
The Philippine 5th Sealift Amphibious Force installed the new commanding officer of BRP Bacolod City LS 550 during a change of command and graduation ceremony at Sangley Point, Cavite City. Gracing the event was the commander of the Philippine Fleet, Rear Admiral Joe Anthony Orbe, who served as the keynote speaker, and the Staff Commander Como Erenio Batong, who served as the presiding officer. Commander Michael Ingesha formally turned over command to Commander Domingo Sumayo Jr. and received the command at Sea Badge for his successful sea tour. Rear Admiral Orbe and Como Batong reaffirmed the fleet's commitment to leadership excellence and operational readiness. This is Mon reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Richmond.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Soldiers for the 82nd Infantry Battalion and humanitarian missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints brave a 4 to 5 hour trek to deliver educational supplies to Maytaraw Primary School in Sitio, Maytaraw, Libaca, Waklan. Despite the rough terrain and intense heat, the team carried 13 folding tables, 61 chairs, and boxes of books and school supplies for indigenous people students. The 82nd IB provided security and transport assistance. They also reaffirmed its commitment to education and community service in remote areas.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, the National Capital Region Police Office is conducting threat assessments ahead of President Marcos's fourth State of the Nation address on July 28. NCRPO spokesperson Major Hazel Asilio said their personnel are engaging in intelligence fusion meetings and inspecting critical areas to neutralize possible threats. Asilio said the NCRPO is reviewing intelligence reports about groups planning to conduct protests to determine if some elements plan to disrupt the zona. Up to 15,076 police personnel will be deployed to secure the Batasang Pambansa complex in Quezon City, where Marcos will deliver his annual address.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our reporter on the ground, let us hear the report of Jim Boy about 6 ID Service Support Battalion unveils new facilities and equipment.
The Service Support Battalion of the 6th Infantry Division inaugurated its newly built facility and acquired equipment at Camp Chonco, Maguindanao del Norte yesterday. Commander of 6 ID and Joint Task Force Central, Major General Donald M. Gumiran, led the ribbon cutting ceremony for the enlisted personnel Barracks 3, container cabana, swimming pool, and a new set of automotive tools. He praised the unit led by Lieutenant Colonel Marlon F. Reyes II for their dedication. He also highlighted the improvement as key in boosting operational support and troops' welfare across the division. This is Jim Boy reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jim Boy.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assured newly elected local officials of his administration's continued support, saying that there is no political color in public service. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said that the president underscored the need for unity in governance. Castro added that Marcos also reminded the local leaders that the nation will stay on the right path when governance is anchored in cooperation in genuine love for the country. She also emphasized that the engagement with local officials is part of the Marcos administration's aim to align national and regional efforts to ensure effective public service delivery.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Labor and Employment assured minimum wage earners in areas outside the Metro Manila that they will also benefit from a pay increase. Labor Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma said that at least 5 regional wages and productive boards have started the determination process for the next round of wage hikes in their respective areas. Laguesma identified them as Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Region 4A, and Region 7 Central Visayas. He also added that after that the other regions will also follow.
Armed Forces Radio.
And let us hear more from Meljoy of 1st Year Gabal 702nd Infantry Battalion and the OPAPRO Lead Transformation Program Workshop for former rebels.
Yes, Rofh, the 702nd Infantry Brigade, in partnership with the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity, is spearheaded a transformation program workshop aimed to strengthen and sustain efforts in organizing and empowering former rebels in the province of Pangasinan. The activity was conducted in collaboration with OPAPRO's Special Project Team under the leadership of Brigadier General Abraham Claro Casis, retired Regional Advisor for Peace and Security. The event brought together key stakeholders from the peace and security sector, including Police Lieutenant Colonel Marshal Disamito, Deputy Provincial Director for Administration of the Pangasinan Police Provincial Office, and Lieutenant Colonel Benny Cinca, Infantry Philippine Army, Battalion Commander of the Kaibigan Battalion, reflecting the strong interagency commitment to advancing peace building and reintegration initiative across the province. This is Meljoy Nasho Arroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Moljoy, about the report of 702nd Infantry Brigade and the OPAPRO Lead the Transformation Program Workshop for former rebels.
DWDD National News.
And for other national news, the Department of Social Welfare and Development reiterated that the monthly social pension for indigent senior citizens remains at 1,000 pesos per beneficiary. DSWD Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao dismissed the reports that the agency has approved an increase of 1,500 pesos starting this month. She added that the official monthly pension amount as stated by law is still 1,000 pensions. Dumlao was referring to Republic Act 11916, or an act increasing the social pension of senior citizens. She also explained that an increase would require a new law and the DSWD will make any changes known through their official communication channels.
DWDD National News.
The Land Transportation Office announced that driver's license renewals can now be done online using the eGovPH mobile application. LTO Chief Vigor Mendoza II said that this is a better alternative to going to LTO offices. The drivers won't need to spend money on transportation to LTO offices, and they won't even need to queue. To use the service, clients must first download and install the eGovPH app on their phones from the App Store or Google Play. After completing the identity verification, they can follow the steps within the app to upload license details, verify information, and submit a new photo.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now from NOLCOM, let's hear some information from Joanne about Isabela LGU and Army begin construction of roads, water system, and remote communities.
Local government unit of Jones, Isabela, and the 95th Infantry Battalion of the Philippine Army have commenced the construction of farm-to-market roads and water system projects in barangays Dicamay 1 and Dicamay 2 to enhance agriculture and provide clean water access to over 1,500 residents. The recent groundbreaking ceremony marked the beginning of vital infrastructure developments that are expected to significantly improve access to transportation for agricultural goods and provide clean potable water in the said remote communities. Jones Mayor Nelsie Montano said the initiatives are a collaborative effort between the LGU and the Philippines Army's Infantry Division, which is providing essential engineering expertise and manpower support. Montano emphasized the transformative potential of the projects, which include the construction of a 22-kilometer road in Dicamay 2, a 20-kilometer road in Dicamay 1, and the installation of a new water system. He also reiterated the LGU's commitment to expanding similar development initiatives to other barangays, particularly in the Adalam region of the municipality. Montano said the partnership between the LGU and the military stands as a testament to their shared dedication to bringing progress and renewed hope to the underserved communities of Jones. Meanwhile, Dicamay 2 Barangay Captain Divina J. Balanon and Dicamay 1 Punong Barangay Rosamila C. Cabungcal both expressed their sincere appreciation to the LGU and the Army for addressing the long-standing needs of their constituents. This is John Sagauk reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD D National News.
On the other hand, the Department of Justice confirmed the recovery of what appears to be burnt human remains from Taal Lake. This was during a technical site assessment conducted yesterday. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla said the discovery was made by a team from the Philippine National Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group in coordination with the Philippine Coast Guard. Remulla said the white sack was visibly identified and recovered from the lake bed and contained what appears to be burned human remains. Authorities are now moving to confirm the nature and origin of the remains.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Environment and Natural Resources, through its Forest Management Bureau, has announced a plan to plant 3 million trees in the Upper Marikina River Basin protected landscape within the next 3 years. This aims to increase the area's forest cover from 24.99% to 43% by 2028. FMB Assistant Director Ray Thomas Kabigting said healthy forest cover is also essential to the country's climate and disaster resilience agenda. He also added that it mitigates the climate change and conserves the biodiversity critical for ecosystem resilience and agricultural productivity.
Forces Radio.
On the other line, let's hear more from Mark about 6th Special Forces Battalion vows support for Basilan's peace and development.
Lieutenant Colonel Roldan P. Mira, commander of the 60 Special Forces Battalion, paid a courtesy call on Basilan Governor Mujib S. Hataman recently. It aimed to align military efforts with the province's development agenda. The battalion pledged full support to the provincial governments and LGUs in the advancing sustainable peace and inclusive growth. The Lieutenant Colonel Mira reaffirmed the unit's commitment to collaboration and emphasized that strong partnerships can achieve lasting peace in Basilan. This is Mark reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mark.
DWDD National News.
Outgoing Acting Presidential Communications Office Secretary J. Ruiz said he would be wrapping up his tenure filled with gratitude, following Malacanang's announcement that he would be replaced by former journalist Dave Gomez. Ruiz bade farewell and thanked the Malacanang Press Corps, saying he is filled with gratitude. In a previous statement, he also described his short-lived stint as communications chief as a profound learning experience, having witnessed the first-hand the nobility of public service. Ruiz will be moving on to the Manila Economic and Cultural Office as a member of its board of directors.
DWDD National News.
Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte has signed an ordinance institutionalizing blended learning. Belmonte said Quezon City has taken decisive action to ensure students keep learning even when classrooms are full or the weather makes it unsafe to go to school. She noted the blended learning program will be implemented in all public elementary and high schools in the city. The local executive also clarified that the utilization of blended learning is not a move away from classroom-based education.
Forces Radio.
Some information from Spencer about 61st IB joins test the allowance distribution to support skills training in Iloilo.
Indeed, Rofh, 61st Infantry Battalion joined the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority financial allowance distribution for students under the scholarship program of Representative Janet Garin at Kimball National High School in Iloilo. Among the beneficiaries were 12 citizen armed forces geographical units, 3 dependents of hunter troopers, and 1 former rebel. The event highlighted the government's inclusive approach to education and reintegration. Furthermore, Rofh, Lieutenant Colonel Arturo L. Balgos Jr., commanding officer of the 61st Infantry Battalion, thanked its partner for empowering communities through skills, training, and livelihood support. This is Spencer reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Spencer.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine Postal Corporation announced that the procurement phase of the Manila Central Post Office Rehabilitation Project has begun. The PhilPost Bids and Awards Committee said the pre-bid conference is scheduled for July 23, with contract signing expected by the end of August. Postmaster General and CEO Luis Carlos emphasized that this project represents not only the physical restoration of the Manila Central Post Office, but also the revival of its historic role as a pillar of national identity and public service. The detailed architectural and engineering design phase of the project is anticipated to be completed within the year, with full restoration work expected to begin in 2026.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
That concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again next week for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Committee News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.